is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Sun.
The Rays' trip to Yankee Stadium has been filled with drama. Friday night, Jacoby Ellsbury stole the show, swiping home. Yesterday, it was Brett Gardner walking it off in the ninth as New York took the first two games of the series. Today, left-hander Drew Smyly goes to the hill, looking to get Tampa Bay back on the winning track. We greet you from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx for the wrap-up game of this series between the Rays and the New York Yankees. It's a gorgeous day. Clear skies, a bit on the cool side. The temperature in the upper 50s. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Rays wrapping up this road trip and trying to get home even 3-3. It has been a very good trip for Kevin Kiermaier starting in Boston.
Well, listen, Kevin Kiermaier, the defense, it's always there. That's what you think of. But guess what? The offense is starting to come around. You talk about his last 5 games, the hitting streak that he's on right now, 7 out of 18, and they aren't singles. I mean, he's got 3 doubles, a couple of home runs, getting it done in a big way. Had a big home run here at Yankee Stadium, and this is also a place that he loves to hit. A career .333 hitter at Yankee Stadium, and in his last 9 in this building, .412 average with damage, and that's what you were hoping for. Kevin Kiermaier, one of those guys you kind of pinpoint early on in the season that his offense could come around. Well, it has so far.
Pitching continues to be a key for the Rays, particularly with Drew Smyly, who's on the mound this afternoon, and he could not have been much better than he was in Boston.
Absolutely magnificent. And when you think about Drew Smyly, I like to think of it as a guy that can manipulate the strike zone. It's the way he moves his pitches around. He can elevate the fastball, work down in the zone, the cutter slash slider. He'll move to both sides of the plate. A very good changeup, and of course the curveball. And he is not predictable. He's using that changeup more and more against right-handed hitters, completely unpredictable, and just moving the ball around the zone. He's done that very, very well so far this season, and his last start was absolutely magnificent.
And as well as he has pitched, this is his 4th start coming. He continues to look for that first win of the year. Rays trying to get out of New York with a win before heading home and opening a stand tomorrow at Tropicana Field.
the good thing is I can always hear it in my own ear. So if I hear anything, I'll just shut it. Oh yeah, no, I've been popping it. Yeah. Oh, that will? Go.
3 on the road trip, 7-10 overall. New York comes in with a mark of 7-9. Starting lineup for the Rays presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Logan Foresight will lead off. He is the DH, getting a mini break today. Logan Morrison is at first base, followed by Evan Longoria. Corey Dickerson in the cleanup spot in front of Stephen Pierce, who is at second. Miller is the shortstop. Brad Miller with Steven Souza Jr. in right field on his 27th birthday. Kevin Kiermaier in center. Kurt Casale will do the catching.
Now taking the mound this afternoon for the New York Yankees is right-hander Michael Pineda, making his 4th start of the season. 1-1 record so far, coming off really his best outing his last time out against the Oakland A's. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts in a no decision. Let's take a look at that Yankee defense and see how it's going to line up behind Pineda here this afternoon. And brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we have Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Carlos Beltran. Across the infield, third to first, Chase Headley, Didi Gregorius, Starlin Castro, and Mark Teixeira with Brian McCann behind the plate.
We have a couple of strike throwers matched up in this one. Smiley and Pineda. Rays trying to rebound from last night's home run. The walk-off by Gardner. The Yankees won the first game 6-3. So Joe Girardi's club up 2 games here in this series and in the season series. The first series of the year between these two clubs. 9th year for Joe Girardi as the manager of the New York Yankees. And the Rays skipper right there, Kevin Cash, in his 2nd season. So he has Logan Forsythe to lead it off. Forsythe, Morrison, and Longoria. Forsythe has been swinging a good bat. 0 for 4 yesterday, but hit the ball well twice in that game. And starts the day at 279. First pitch is a strike called by the plate umpire Ben May. 34-year-old umpire out of Racine, Wisconsin. Oh, 2. Pineda, only 27 years old, from the Dominican Republic, a 12-game winner last year. And Forsythe out on strikes.
Well, what makes Michael Pineda so effective? The ability to throw strikes and the ability to present pitches as strikes. Watch the slider. In the zone, the swing starts of Logan Forsythe, and the ball just bottoms out. You know, he's going to be very simple in his attack. You know, fastball, it cuts. He throws the slider. He's got a changeup. The right-handed hitters very rarely will see the changeup, but he fills up the zone, but he's got that ability to present as a strike and end as a ball.
Morrison, did he go? He checked in time. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, down at third, weighing in on that decision.
You know, even the cutter's late. Like that pitch right there, you got a little flinch from Morrison because that ball looks like a fastball in the inside corner and then just cuts right off.
Ground ball down to first. Teixeira makes the play unassisted. Well, that late break doesn't have to be big, just late. And as you point out, a subtle break on the cutter makes it extremely effective.
Well, that pitch is designed to miss the barrel of the bat. You know, you get a sweet spot on a bat, it's a few inches wide. So that cutter doesn't have to be big, but if it goes from the barrel where the hitter thinks he's going to hit it, and all of a sudden it ends further up the bat on the handle or the label, bad contact, easy out.
Evan Longoria takes a strike. Three home runs, 9 runs batted in for Evan. And he is behind Pineda 0-2. And this is where Longoria has found himself quite often in the matchups with Pineda behind in the count. He's 2 for 20 off him.
Sometimes you just have those pitchers who have your number for whatever reason. Sometimes you don't pick up the ball very well. His stuff gives you trouble.
A ball, 2 strikes. Takes it to 2-2.
And that pitch wasn't even that far in, but it was up head high. And Evan, you could see he was leaning. He was looking for something on the outer half, something down and away. Starting to dive out over the plate, got stood up.
Shot down to middle to center field. Ellsbury all the way back. Will have to play it off the wall. And Longoria is in standing with a double. Well, he squared that one up and hit it to dead center off the wall, just to the left of the 408 marker.
Well, he continued to look for something on the outer half, and this one was not down and away. It had elevation, and that allowed him to reach, get that swing out there, long and powerful, and he almost got it out of here. Ellsbury gives up on it. You see that halfway up the wall.
Suddenly a scoring opportunity early for the Rays.
Was something that they have not done a very good job of, scoring early, giving themselves opportunity, not getting the job done, not playing from out in front.
You know, the starters have had very few leads. This is their 17th, now the 18th game. There's a high shot deep to right. They have a lead now. This one is out of here. Long blast by Dickerson, his 5th home run of the year. And it's 2-0 Tampa Bay.
You know, when the Rays built this lineup, these are the kind of innings you envisioned. It can happen in a hurry. I mean, 2 quick outs for Pineda, and then Evan Longoria with a loud smash to center, and then Corey Dickerson, aggressive hitter by nature, and boy, did he get a mistake and capitalize.
Well, you see Pineda put his hand on his cap on top of his head after the contact made on that pitch. 2-0 Rays. Here's Steve Pearce. Strike 1. We're talking about pitchers with a lead. In 17 games, Rays starters had a lead in only 31 innings. Well, Drew Smyly will go to the mound with a lead today. There's a hot shot liner in the center. Pearce is aboard. So single home run, a double home run, and now single with Pearce reaching.
Well, Michael Pineda, strike thrower, and this inning, these last 3 hitters, not quality strikes. A lot of pitches out over the plate, and Rays hitters right now are not missing.
Brad Miller preparing to step in. Pineda coming off a 6-inning no decision against Oakland. He gave up just 2 runs in the 6 innings on 7 hits. 2 runs so far in the first of this game. Pitch is low. His first outing against Houston was tough. He gave up 6 runs in 5 innings, but got a lot of support. In fact, left that game leading 12-6. Shot toward left center field. That's going to be over Gardner's head. Pierce hitting third, waved around, headed to the plate on a double by Miller, and the Rays have a 3-0 lead. Pierce scores from first as Miller rips a double up the alley into left center.
Rays hitters very comfortable at the plate right now. You've got a pitcher out there that's on his heels, a lot of pitches out over the plate. You can hear the contact. I mean, the contact has been extremely loud. They're just punishing these pitches that are left out over. He stayed on that pitch very nicely. Brad Miller wants to get those arms extended, and shows you the kind of juice that he has getting it over Gardner's head.
That prompted a visit from Larry Rothschild, the New York pitching coach. Here's Steven Souza Jr. Miller in scoring position. Souza takes the ball. Today's Buick GMC big matchup. Souza coming in 4 of 9 with a double and a home run against Pineda. And faces him today. Souza observing his 27th birthday. Pitch inside. Two and 0. Souza had the day off yesterday. Was on twice here Friday night with a base hit and a walk. And now gets time. Pineda taking a little too much time, and Souza Jr. slows it down. All of this with 2 outs. Double, home run, single, and a double. 3 runs home. There's a long one, high and deep to left. That baby's gone. A long home run to left by Souza. Steven Souza Jr. A little birthday pop in that one. And the Rays take a 5-0 lead.
Well, a guy that's not been able to stay out of the middle of the plate, and you've got a 2-0 count against you. You know he's got to throw a strike, and Souza Jr. jumps all over this. We haven't seen anything like this from the Rays offense all season long.
Well, this is what they envisioned, and they're seeing it here in the first inning. Five consecutive hits, including a couple of 2-run home runs. Kevin Kiermaier looks at his strike, the number 8 hitter up here. Oh-2.
This is just a lesson in what can happen at this level with a lapse in concentration. 2 quick outs to start the inning, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 and it is 5-0. And Michael Pineda's day really is already ruined. I mean, he's just going to try to hang on now and go as long as he can.
We'll see another 2-strike pitch.
And this is where you could get on a roll here and end up throwing 6-7 innings. You're still giving up 5 runs, and it all happened this quickly. Put your team in a big hole.
Well, he got 2 outs with 5 pitches. Then the double to Longoria, Dickerson's home run, Pierce with a base hit, Miller doubled him home, and Souza a long home run. 2-2 on Kiermaier. Fifth home run for Dickerson, 4th home run for Souza Jr. Kiermaier started to go, pitch a ball down.
He's worked himself all the way back to a full count.
Out of play. So this at bat for Kiermaier, extending the inning for Pineda. Line drive into right. 2 hops the wall. Kiermaier's on his way to second, and the Rays pick up another hit. A double for Kiermaier.
You go back to the first pitch that he struck Logan Foresight out with, the breaking ball that was in the zone then out of zone. Since then, everything has just stayed right up out over the plate. The Rays are taking pitches that are balls right out of the hand. The balls that are left out over the plate, they are hammering. And Kiermaier continues his hot hitting. Now 6-game hitting streak, and he rakes at Yankee Stadium.
Kurt Casale due. McCann takes some time going to the mound. 6 consecutive hits, 5 for extra bases. And a ball to Casale.
With some pent-up frustration being let loose here this afternoon. The first couple of ball games here at Yankee Stadium have not gone the Rays' way, and they've been very, very frustrating in the manner in which they've lost. And they have come out charged up here this afternoon.
One and one. The Rays had that big inning against the Red Sox at Fenway when they scored 6 in the 4th. They did that on 4 hits. They have 5 runs, 6 hits in the 1st here in New York today. This one popped shallow center. Castro out from second base makes the catch. Rays hit 9 men to the plate. They come up with 5 runs, 6 hits, including a 2-run home run from Corey Dickerson and a 2-run home run from Steven Souza Jr. Rays playing long ball in the top half of the inning, building a 5-0 lead. Southern Ford Dealers presenting this lineup for New York. Jacoby Ellsbury, then Brett Gardner and Carlos Beltran. Mark Teixeira, Alex Rodriguez the DH, Brian McCann catching. Batting ahead of Chase Headley, Starlin Castro, and Didi Gregorius. Drew Smiley on the hill. And the first pitch to Ellsbury is a ball.
Well, the key for Drew Smiley is ignore the scoreboard. Ignore the scoreboard. Go out there and execute the game plan that you came up with before this one started.
2-0 all the way to the base of the stands. And the numbers on Drew Smiley all great except no wins.
Yeah, and that's hard to believe. You look at his last 2 starts, 15 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 22 strikeouts, and you can't get a dub out of that. Well, he's in position. If he can duplicate those lines or even be close, he's got a chance.
Well, here's the breakout. First 3 starts, a total of 3 runs in support of his work. That's how you don't get a W and pitch as great as he has been pitching. Well, today, a 5-run first inning for him. 3-1. Fly ball lifted into left. Dickerson is there and makes the catch.
Let's go ahead and set that Rays defense for you this afternoon. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, we have Dickerson, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. And then across that infield, third to first, Longoria, Miller, Steve Pearce at second, Logan Morrison with Kurt Casale behind the plate. You know, we're going to have to start playing a game. And where's Waldo? Where's Pearce? On this road trip, we've seen him at first. We've seen him at third. Today he's out at second. Versatility.
Well, that's one of the things the Rays liked about him, aside from his bat. And we know the history of the Rays making good use of versatile players. 1-0 the count on Brett Gardner. He decided the game yesterday with a home run in the 9th inning. Got ahead of Erasmo Ramirez 3-1 and hit it into the seats and right. One ball, 1 strike. Back to the hill. Smiley with a flip to first. 2 up and 2 down.
I will tell you what, that second pitch to Brett Gardner, that fastball that was up above the zone that got called a strike, if that's going to be called a strike, they have no chance against Drew Smiley, because he will pitch up there and beyond. And those are pitches that you're just not going to be able to reach. That could be a huge benefit, something to look for as this game moves on.
First pitch to Beltran is a ball. Beltran observing a birthday today as well, his 39th birthday. That's a strike. Ben May, a young umpire, 34 years old, calling the balls and strikes. We haven't seen a lot of him, so it'll be interesting to watch that strike zone. Base hit to the left of Miller, picked up by Kiermaier in left center.
Well, all I can tell you is that Drew Smiley, and he actually said it, you know, he said when he was in Detroit that, you know, their pitching philosophy and the way that he went about his business was everything working downhill. You know, he's a tall, lanky lefty that throws right over the top, create an angle and work it downhill. Well, when he came over to the Rays, one of the things that they suggested and presented to him was, hey, we think that you can elevate the fastball. If it's something that you can do, it'll be mighty effective for you. And, you know, we saw that transition to where he started using that pitch more and more. And he is absolutely taken off here with the Rays, and it just allows him to manipulate the strike zone and cover so much ground with all of his pitches.
Yeah, the approach is as simple as it is, a streak of genius, really. Because when you look at his time in Detroit, tough play. Miller to second, and they get the force. Nice job there on both ends. Miller to get there. Pearce on the pickup at second to keep his foot on the bag to force Beltran. We've gone through an inning, and the Rays lead 5-0. They'll send the top of the order to lead off the second after sending 9 men to the plate in the first inning. Foresight comes out swinging and fouls it for a strike. Morrison next, and then Longoria. One and one. It was a 29 pitch first inning for Pineda. Tapper to third, foul. It's 1-2. Well, the Rays will be headed home, and a 3-team homestand coming in. Baltimore first, then Toronto, and then the Dodgers come in. Now 2-2.
They come in for, what is it, 2 games?
A 2-game set, the Dodgers. Yep.
We get 2 in Los Angeles.
Later on in the year, that's right.
National League West.
Ground ball through the middle. There's a base hit to start the second inning. Foresight makes the turn and holds.
Boy, what a nice job by Logan Forsythe following that breaking ball down in the zone and using the middle of the field. You know, when Kevin Cash put together this lineup at the beginning of the season, you really couldn't have picked a better guy to lead this thing off.
You know, nobody waits longer than he does, so he can work a count, which is what you'd love a leadoff man to do. And he's productive out of that spot and gives you some pop up there.
Yep. And he can sit back and wait on pitches better than anybody in this lineup because his hands are so quick. It gives him that extra split second for pitch recognition and then fire the hands.
Forsythe back in at first. Logan Morrison grounded out to first in that first inning. It's a little chopper. Strike the count.
Boy, and if you go back, you think about Logan Forsythe and his career path, and you go back to the beginning of the 2015 season, he was going to be in a platoon at second base, and it was a late in spring training injury to Nick Franklin that it was too late to do anything. So you go, okay, you know what? You're going to have to hold the fort down. Well, he's done that and then some.
Yes, he has. Foul ball lifted the other way, out of play.
Isn't that funny how things happen like that?
Yeah, you know, they liked him. They went out and made the deal for him, but in the short term looked at him as a platoon guy and a guy they could play in a number of spots. Well, he got an opportunity, and that's what you're looking for. You know, if you work as hard as he does, you're ready as he was to take advantage of an opportunity.
That is the key, is to be ready, because you never know when they're going to come.
Morrison is out on strikes. Second strikeout for Pineda. That gets Evan Longoria up here again. No strikes. Well, Longoria started the 5-run fifth in the first with a double. The Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Chris Coors Light. And look at those numbers. He loves playing here. 41 runs batted in, most by any visiting player here at New Yankee Stadium.
Now, he loves hitting here. He loves Boston pitching. I mean, he likes the big stage. We've known that from him the moment that he came to the big leagues here with the Rays. Big stage, big moments.
Just foul. Hit a pebble down there, came up on him.
That New York side having a rough day.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first. And a foul ball again. The Rays saw Pineda 3 times last year, a couple of outings in April last year and one on the 4th of July here. And that started July. He pitched 7 shutout innings against the Rays, struck out 10 and walked only 1. They scored more runs off him, or at least the same amount of runs in the first inning, 5, as they did in the yearly output last year in 3 games he started. He gave the Rays 5 runs last year, spread over 3 starts. They got him for 5 in the first today. Runner goes and the pitch is foul. That's another one of those funny things about this game.
Yeah. Well, and all with 2 outs. All with 2 outs. It's not like they built an inning and little here, little there. I mean, it was 2 up, 2 down. Looked like it was going to be a quick first inning, and then those bats started exploding.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down, fades into the runner, and the ball pops loose. Foresight has a stolen base. Throw had some fade on it and popped loose. So on the strikeout, Foresight steals his way into scoring position.
Well, they had a chance and a good pitch to handle, but there's that fade that you're talking about, Dwayne. That, watch this sink away from second base, right into the path of Logan Forsythe, and Castro cannot hold on.
It was Corey Dickerson. Yeah, Pineda last year in 18 1/3 innings gave the Rays 5 runs. Today they got 5 runs in the span of 21 pitches off him. 1 strike to count to Corey Dickerson, who started that 5-run first with a 2-run home run. 7 of 15 for Dickerson in his last 5 games.
I'm starting to wonder why the Rays have had trouble scoring runs the last couple of days. I mean, Kevin Kiermaier is scalding hot. Corey Dickerson is hot. You see right here, 1 pitch. Get used to seeing that swing. A powerful swing that he does not hold back anything when taking it.
Yeah, and that was a legitimate home run here, not one of those that just dropped into the seats there over that fence at right center. He hit that ball well. Got it all the way beyond that first section of seats that are so inviting for so many left-handed hitters here. A 2-strike count. Line the other way and into the stands. But you're just watching Dickerson swing the bat, and you know he's having fun hitting. He loves to swing the bat.
You get those kids that you like a gym rat. You know, they just love to be a
That's him.
shoot hit. Yeah.
Yep.
When it comes to hitting, I mean, he's a cage rat.
Yeah. He fouls that one back. And that backswing got McCann. He got him yesterday.
Twice in this at bat. You see that? Boy, oh boy, he's got that exaggerated follow through. He takes that top hand off the bat and really whirly birds. And he's clipped McCann a couple of times.
A 2-strike count. Dickerson trying to pick up Foresight, the runner at second. Will not chase. 1-2. And is out on strikes. That one dipped right out of the zone. Rays leave a man. They lead 5-0. Coming. Time to take our Toyota inside look at Blake Snell and his major league debut yesterday. Boy, the first Rays pitcher to make his major league debut with a start at Yankee Stadium. And boy, what a debut it turned out to be. Alex Rodriguez takes a strike from Drew Smyly. The Rays very happy with what they saw from Blake Snell.
And we only saw really half of his arsenal. You know, he's a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. And yesterday it was basically the fastball and the curveball playing them off of each other. An explosive fastball and a curveball with a ton of depth.
Oh, people were raving about the curveball.
Low to mid 70s and big depth. Boy, can he spin that pitch. He could get used to watching him.
That could be fun.
And listen, there's not a guy really that the Rays run out there every 5 days that's not fun to watch.
Yeah, and we talked about Smyly. It's almost like watching a pitching clinic with him. It's so fun. And in a different way, the same thing with the young lefty yesterday. I mean, that was a tough game to lose on the heels of what a wonderful debut it was for Blake Snell. Rodriguez chases this one. First strikeout for Drew Smyly.
Let's take a look at some of the things. Right there it was. That was the first strikeout to lead off the second inning. And then you start with a powerful fastball, able to elevate. He really settled in nicely. You know, that first inning a little bit bumpy, but then you come in with striking out the side in the second inning, and then it was game on for Blake Snell. And I'll tell you, he showed up yesterday in a big way in his first game.
Strike the count on Brian McCann. Well, for the Rays, who now send him back to AAA Durham, it's really comforting to know that you have him down there and he has pitched a game in the major leagues on the big stage. And really, as you point out, we didn't see all that he has to offer yesterday, so that's a comforting factor. He certainly paid off the belief in him. And McCann is out on strikes, missing the fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts of Rodriguez and McCann. Rays selected right-hander Yan Marinez from AAA Durham. So he is with the club. And a strike to Chase Headley. One. Here's the move there. Snell optioned, and Marinez comes to the Rays. He had some good numbers. They like his slider, so we'll see him soon enough, I'm sure, out of the bullpen.
With that sleeve, I hope. It's the hot color now. We've seen a lot of the mouth guards, mouthpieces, bat handles, sleeves.
And there is strike 3 call. So Smiley strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3 they go. Rays lead 5-0. Ball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts Glory Ram, by Tradewinds, the official beach resort of the Tampa Bay Rays, by your local Toyota dealers, and by Furman, the Bay Area's first name in Chevrolet. That video, a little tour of the exact site where the original Yankee Stadium was located. Oh, here is Steve Pearce launching one on the first pitch deep to left, and that gets out of here. Steve Pearce jumping on the first pitch hits his first Rays home run, and the Rays now lead 6-0.
Is it me, or do the Rays hitters have amplifiers connected to their bats here this afternoon? I mean, this contact is so loud up here in the booth. Not sure what it sounds like coming over the airwaves, but boy, oh boy, is it loud up here. You knew that ball was crushed as high as it was far.
That is a great sound, isn't it?
Well,
when you're hitting them.
Well, right. Too often I heard that coming back at me.
Brad Miller pitches a strike in there. Started to go, trying to check. So 3 home runs for the Rays off Pineda today. He had given up 3 home runs, spread over 3 starts. The Rays have him for 3 home runs, and he's just now facing his second hitter in the 3rd inning. Miller double homer run and scored in the 1st. Two count. Yankees have the shift on for Miller. Holding right there. The Yankees, with this shift on, they were among the top 5 in utilizing the shift a year ago. It's inside. It's 2-2. The Rays led Major League Baseball in employing the shift last year, followed by Houston and Colorado, then Pittsburgh, then the Yankees. And Miller is out on strikes.
One of the, you think of the Yankees as a very traditional, old school type of organization, and that's why that stat is surprising. But it is amazing how different franchises, and most of them at this point, have come around to that, to the analytics and all the information that's out there. Try to put it to use.
Yeah, the last year or two, it seems that the Rays and Houston have sort of had a little race on who's going to shift more. Souza Jr. swings and misses, and they were the only 2 teams with over 1,400 shifts last year.
And the shift is when you've got 3 fielders on one side. So like this right here, they've got a little bit of a, I don't know what you would call this. You play that second baseman up the middle, but he's got to be on the other side.
Yeah, that's a shade.
Yeah,
they're just shading him that way. You see Castro shading Souza Jr. up the middle.
Right. He would have to over there close to where Will Little is, and then it would be a shift.
Yeah. Yankee dugout apparently giving Ben May, the plate umpire, a little verbiage. There's a strike, and the young umpire shot right back and said, I'll handle it. Yeah, I'll take care of it here.
You might want to talk to your pitcher and tell him to stay out of the middle of the plate. That's more the issue here than me.
Souza fouls it out of play. Well, it's a young umpire. They'll try to take advantage of that if they can.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be incredulous. Like, really? I'm the problem? I'm sorry, I'm deaf right now. I can't even hear because of all this contact.
There's a ringing in my ears.
Goodness.
That's upstairs. So we go to 2-2.
I would probably complain about that pitch. Needed that one.
Yeah. And a cut and a miss. Souza Jr. out on strikes. 2 outs following the home run. Follow Rays Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatsCast, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. There's Kevin Kiermaier, who doubled in the first. Look out, that back foot. Well, he was trying to get out of the way, and at the same time offered. Take a look at this.
Late break.
It's quite a dilemma there. Ground ball. Oh, diving stop to Shara. And he's out at first with the pitcher Pineda covering. Rays get another run on a home run by Steve Pearce. First pitch of the inning. And he hit it out to left. We're through 2.5 in New York, and the Rays lead 6-0. Harbor on a beautiful day in New York. Clear skies. The Rays have jumped to a 6-0 lead. Bottom of the third starts, and Starlin Castro takes a strike. Castro, Gregorius, and then Ellsbury. Fly ball left field. Dickerson drifting back with room. And he puts that one away. One gone now. Didi Gregorius, the shortstop. Oh, so far so good with Drew Smyly just implementing the game plan. And sometimes that's not as easy as you might think. You get a bunch of runs early. Just go out there and pitch your game. No problem so far.
Well, the tendency is to maybe catch too much of the plate with pitches, you know, because the first time you walk a guy with a 6-run lead, everybody, how you walk? You got a 6-run lead. You're just supposed to lay it in there. Come on, use your defense. And so you've really got to stay away from that and just continue to do what you do well. And that's what we're seeing. Moving the ball around, changing speeds, changing eye levels.
You know, we've mentioned in the past, as he gets a strike there, Smyly out of University of Arkansas and Cliff Lee, they have that in common. A couple of guys from Arkansas, a couple of lefties. Their approach similar. They've worked out together. They've spent time together. I think they've had the same representation even. And he gives you that kind of approach to controlling that mound.
Like Cliff Lee could pound the strike zone.
Longoria skyward, gloves this one.
It all starts with the delivery. And, you know, Drew Smyly, it used to be, you know, you go back and look at old films, old videos of pitchers, a lot of movement in the deliveries, hands over the head, big high leg kicks, you know. And nowadays it's like the simple more simple you can make it, the better off you are at repeating that delivery. And that's what leads to being able to move the ball around where you want it. Not there.
Ellsbury straightened up a little bit there. You know, Ellsbury's been involved in 3 catcher's interferences now.
And could have had a 4th here the other night. Yeah, I was shocked. Well, I guess I shouldn't have been because we saw the potential for 2 in this series, but you're right.
Fly ball to right. Souza Jr.'s there, and it's a quick 3rd inning. On to the 4th we go, and the Rays lead 6-0. Fourth inning. Here's your chance to get a steal, fans. Today's steal of the day featuring an exclusive Rays shirt with any ticket purchase to the game Sunday, May 1st against the Toronto Blue Jays. Available today only. So visit raysbaseball.com/steal or call 888-FAN-RAYS for more information. It's going to be Curt Casali to lead off the 4th inning. Casali, then Logan Forsythe, and then Logan Morrison. Casali popped out to the second baseman his first time. Ball, 1 strike. One and 2. Rays scored 5 in the first, all with 2 outs. Got a quick run in the 3rd on a leadoff home run by Steve Pearce. Dickerson and Souza Jr. homered in the first. Did not go, so the count is 2-2. Angel Hernandez looking in from first base, said Casali checked. Casali out on strikes. And that's the first out in the 4th.
Today, Pineda, we've seen his fastball in that 93-94 range, able to power that by Casali on the outside corner, and that's where he can be effective. I mean, if he throws that fastball outer third, inner third, and then you think about, you know, the possibilities you have with that cutter and the curveball, but just the thing today has been too many right out over the heart.
Logan Foresight takes a strike. Yeah, that's 7 strikeouts for Pineda. He's given up 6 runs on 8 hits and has 7 strikeouts.
And not too uncommon for this Rays lineup. I mean, they've had trouble, scoring runs, but when they have, it has been boom or bust. I mean, it has been strikeout or home run. And that's the way that they've put things together thus far. Not too many innings where you base hit, steal a bag, move them over, work in innings. It's been the long ball or nothing.
2-1 now. It's out of play. Yeah, that almost seems to be a trend where we've talked about in years past more strikeouts, and there wasn't the notoriety attached to the strikeout. Now the way it used to be. Opposite field, Beltran's going to make a pickup on one hop, so that would serve the other way, and Foresight is aboard. I think that there was for a time, and maybe continues to be, a general impression that, well, an out's an out, whether it's a strikeout. If you're swinging hard, you might hit the ball a long way. So there are a lot of strikeouts. The other side of that is maybe it's approach philosophically and physically, but pitchers are throwing harder these days.
There's no doubt about that.
I mean, that has to have something to do with all these strikeouts.
Yeah,
velocity's up.
The velocity's up. Stuff is nastier. Sliders are, I mean, all that. All of the, you see more stuff in the game today than I think it has ever been, top to bottom. Just think about the back end of bullpens. Think about the back end of this Yankee bullpen when Chapman comes back. I mean, right now, Betances and Miller, they just strike out everybody they face.
Yep. And that's a combination of velocity and stuff.
Yep. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, though. And you're right. I think there are still a thought that, hey, you punch out 170 times. If you give me 25, 30 home runs, I'm going to be okay with that.
Yep.
The flip side of that, how about the Kansas City Royals? They don't strike out. They put the ball in play.
Yeah, and they're aggressive.
They're very aggressive. And
that's one of the first things when they really started to turn the corner with their offense. One of the first things that you noticed about that team, how aggressive every at bat is right from the first pitch.
Yep. On the base paths, the way that they move runners, and they don't strike out a ton. They put a ton of pressure on the defense because of it. Get some speed and some clutch hits. Rode it to a world championship.
Well, many times that's a cyclical thing in baseball where you'll go through a period where maybe the offense is down, offense is up, and you can look decade to decade through the game and find that. But I'm not sure that we're going to see that kind of change in the near future anyway, because I don't know that velocity's going to go back down.
No, it's not.
If it's going to do anything, they're going to continue to push the envelope with velocity.
Yeah, and it seemingly has come out of nowhere. I remember even when I first came up, there were some hard throwers. You'd have a handful here or there, a couple on a staff. Now everybody. I mean, now if you're a starting pitcher and you're 90, 92, you're a finesse guy. I mean, that used to be pretty firm fastball.
Absolutely.
Now it's that's nice. It's firm. It's not anything exciting anymore.
Evan Longoria up here takes the ball. 2 outs with Forsythe at first. Two and 0 the count. Longoria started it all in the first inning with the 2-out double off the center field wall, and that got things rolling. Dickerson followed immediately with a home run to right, Pierce single, Miller doubled him home, then Souza hit a 2-0 pitch into the seats and left. And a 4-pitch walk to Longoria. That'll push Foresight up to second base. And the first walk the Rays have. 2 men on, 2 men out for Corey Dickerson.
Well, when he fell behind Evan Longoria, he wanted no part of him. But I'm not sure what you're going to do with Corey Dickerson either. I mean, this middle of the Rays lineup has had a day here against Pineda.
You know, it's interesting. You look up and down the lineup here. Pineda, the Rays have 6 runs, 9 hits off him, and he has struck out at least once 7 of the 9 hitters in the Rays lineup.
Yeah, well, only in this game. I mean, it's amazing. You can come out and watch baseball games every single day, all season long, and still see some crazy things.
Corey Dickerson has homered and struck out. Takes it inside. To look at that first inning home run to right. That was legit.
Wait, did you just drop legit? And then the other night get on with your bad self for something you dropped? Where have you been hanging out?
Rough company, apparently. High pop. Right center. Beltran makes the catch. A hit, a walk, 2 left. Rays lead 6-0. A 6-0 lead, concluding their trip to the Northeast into Boston and New York. Headed home. Rays opening a homestand tomorrow night against Baltimore. Orioles, Blue Jays, and the Dodgers come in on this next homestand. Brett Gardner, who won the game yesterday for New York, leads off the bottom of the 4th, and that one sails and hits him. So Gardner hit by a pitch, and he's just fine.
Well, a breaking ball that gets away from Drew. You see up and in, ducking, and then right off the helmet.
The more he ducked, the more he was in line to get hit by that pitch. That breaking ball. Trying to get out of the way, and that pitch following him.
Yeah. Heat seeker.
Carlos Beltran. Ball one. Beltran had a base hit in the first inning. Came with 2 outs and equaled the number of hits Smiley gave up in 8 innings in his last outing Tuesday in Boston. 8 innings, 1 hit, no runs, a couple of walks, and 11 strikeouts, and a no decision. Rays won that one in 10 innings, 3-0. Comes up with a strike, 2-0, 2 balls and a strike now. Four home runs for Beltran, 1 coming as a right-handed hitter. And until McCann hit the home run here the other night off the Rays lefty Matt Moore, that home run by Beltran, the only home run they had hit off left-handed pitching. So they have 2 home runs off lefties, 2 of the 18 they've hit so far.
The lefties have given this lineup trouble. It's why the Rays, they come in, kind of set it up. You've got Moore, and then of course Snell yesterday, Smiley here today. 3 straight lefties. And that's what you wonder too about the Yankees when you look at their ball club. And we talked about this, Dwayne, at the beginning of the season, where you could, as a lawyer, you could make a compelling case for every team in the division to finish first and every team to finish last. And you start to wonder with the age. Carlos Beltran off to a good start. 39th birthday here today. Are they going to be able to keep everybody healthy? Is the starting rotation going to be able to hold up?
A big miss on that slow breaking ball.
Yep, you just cannot wait back long enough. The change of speed.
Teixeira on the ground, fair, diving stop, Longoria, throw to first, he's going to get his man over there. What a stop by Evan. That ball just fair. Ted Barrett all over the call, and Longoria all over that ground ball on a great stop to get Teixeira.
I mean, he just never ceases to amaze with the glove. This ball ripped up the line, the dive into foul territory from the knees. You couldn't have walked that ball over there and handed it to Logan Morrison in a better spot. That's where the feel of an infielder to make the play, but then to make the throw. That bounce there was on purpose. I mean, that wasn't I'm throwing it over there and it bounced up to him. That throw was absolutely by design.
Alex Rodriguez takes the first pitch down for a ball. Here's the stop. See, the ball's fair. He had to go into foul territory to make the play, which made it even more difficult.
Yeah, from his knees. Well, he works at it. There's a reason why he's as good as he is. Every single day, you're up in the booth, we're up in the booth, and you're highlighting and looking over things, and the Rays are starting batting practice. He's down on his knees, taking ground balls from the knees, and then up, then move to the left, move to the right. I mean, every single day.
Shot toward the corner. That ball off the wall. It's going to score Gardner. Throw into second base a little high. And Rodriguez gets New York on the board. It's 6-1. Rodriguez with his first double. And he gets Gardner home.
Well, he almost got that ball out of here, too. That was a missile right down the line. We talk an awful lot about right field 314. It's 318 down the line here in left. And he was almost able to sneak it over. That close.
kicked away from Dickerson with the curvature of the wall out there. There's a check by Brian McCann. 1 ball, no strikes. And they're taken for a strike. 1-1. Well, Alex Rodriguez had gone 1 for 18 before lining that double and chasing home a run with it. Nice pitch for a strike. 1-2. And he takes care of McCann, strikes him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning, a run scores through 4, 6-1 Rays. Into the 5th inning in New York, and Duke Energy is proud to support the Rays and Tampa Bay area veterans. For every game the Rays win, Duke Energy donates $1,000 to area agencies working in support of our veterans. Duke Energy, powering Florida with more than just energy. They're supporting our veterans and other local charities too. Rays jumped on Michael Pineda for 5 in the first, added another run in the third when Steve Pearce began that inning with a home run. Pearce will open the 5th. He's 2 for 2 with a couple runs scored today, making the start at second base. Takes a breaking ball, ball 1.
And getting that start against the righty Pineda too, and cashing in. You want to get more playing time, you get that opportunity. We talk about opportunities. Righty on right.
1-1. He did go, says Angel Hernandez. Pearce recently turned 32. Here's the Rays, a right-handed bat with some pop, and a player of great versatility. I really think it started with the Rays wanting to get him because he was such a nuisance against them. He had some big hits, especially at the Trop against the Rays.
Well, it was a couple of years ago, he went to camp with the Orioles and hit like 10 home runs in spring training.
Yep.
I mean, just forced his way onto the squad and then started tormenting Rays pitching. I'll tell you what, though, we may have to get together for like a grill out at some point.
Yeah.
I was reading a little piece on him today where they're just asking him some basic questions, favorite food, grilled steak,
yeah,
check mark, band that you'd like to be on the stage with. He dropped some 80s hair bands. He dropped the Guns N' Roses.
Well, you're there.
Yeah, like that means
broken bat. The ground ball rolled is short. Headley, it's close at first. He's out of there, and the barrel into the bat wound up in the stands.
That went over the Rays dugout and over 1, 2, 3, 5 rows of seats. The first little walkway. Well, I've not seen one go that far.
Watch the bat explode and then wind up at the barrel end into the stands. He had a faulting start coming out of the batter's box, and it was still close at first.
Well, he had the infield hit. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
I mean, he could scoot up the line a little bit. Surprise you.
Strike call to Brad Miller.
So anyway, I'm thinking, okay,
you're ready
if
to
grilled
cook
steak
out.
is your deal, Guns N' Roses is one of your bands.
You're there.
Need to hang out.
Ground ball right side. And Castro throws out Brad Miller. So 2 gone in the 5th. From the Yankee point of view, Pineda has done one thing after that tough first. He stuck around and is 2 outs into the 5th.
Well, that really becomes the goal. As a starting pitcher, you only get to go out there every 5 days. If you have an off day, it's every 6. So you put so much into that one outing, and to give up 5 runs in the first after getting 2 outs, how deflating that can be.
Souza hits it a long way the other way, and that's a foul ball and gone. Souza jumps on the first pitch and hits a second birthday home run. That had some slice to it, but he hit it hard enough to keep it fair down the right side for his 5th home run of the year. And the Rays have a 7-1 lead.
Loud all afternoon. My goodness.
Listen to this. Boy, he hit it hard enough to keep it fair.
He hit through the slice.
Yes, he did. Kiermaier takes a pitch inside. So the Rays have 7 runs, 10 hits. They've hit 4 home runs. Souza with 2 home runs. Second time he's done that this year. He connected on April the 6th against J. Happ and Arnold Leone. He's hit 2 off Pineda. A 2-2 count on Kiermaier now. It's Kirby Yates in the bullpen for the Yankees. Kiermaier out on strikes. The Rays are finished in the 5th, but they pick up another run on the home run by Steven Souza Jr. Our game Big birthday so far for Steven Souza Jr. 2 home runs, and the Rays hold a 7-1 lead. Bottom of the 5th inning finds Chase Headley in the batter's box. He takes the first pitch for a ball. Headley, Castro, and Gregorius. 1-1.
Yeah, ironically enough, too, that was the birthday inning here at Yankee Stadium.
It was.
Announcing everybody's birthday up on the big board.
Yep. Well, Steven Souza Jr. has announced his own birthday.
Loudly.
Always enjoy the birthday board here at Yankee Stadium.
Today was really good.
Better than usual. 2-1 the count to Headley. A 2-2 count. Foul ball back, out of play. Seven runs, 10 hits for the Rays. A run, 2 hits for the Yankees. Drew Smiley, after his first win, he has pitched so well this year in 3 starts without a win. Count is full. And ball 4. Headley draws a walk to open the 5th, and we're going to check in with Todd Callis. Todd.
Hey, Dwayne, Corey Dickerson, chance to play in the outfield again. He's been in the outfield a little bit on this road trip today, making his 3rd start in the outfield. This year, he is 6 for 12 with 3 home runs when playing the field as a starter. And as a DH, he's hitting under 200, and he admitted he's still trying to find that rhythm as a DH. This is the first time he's done so in his career on a regular basis. And he says he's trying to not overthink each at bat, but trying to stay in the game, trying to find what to do with that idle time. So as much as he enjoys playing the outfield, it shows up at his plate appearances as well, guys.
Well, Castro gets this one by Longoria, just hard enough to slip it by. And the first 2 hitters are on base in the 5th.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be a tough transition. A real tough transition. You know, you're used to all the way growing up. You're playing in the field, you're doing your job out there, then you come in, it's your time to hit, you get ready, you go hit. To just hit and then sit around for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and this is obviously our first exposure to Corey Dickerson, but we talked about the kind of hitter he is. He's just that kind of player.
Yeah.
So he wants to be doing something, and you can certainly understand the adjustment when he's only the DH. Gregorius fouls the pitch away. He popped to 3rd his first time. The Yankees have a run, 3 hits, 2 men on with nobody out in the 5th. One and one. I think Smiley wanted that last pitch. It seemed to be at the knees.
You cannot blame him either, because, yeah, look at Fox Tracks. That was a very good pitch.
Back into right field. Souza Jr. lines up to make the catch, and the runners will hold.
Oh. I think that, you know what, that was really aggressive throw there by Steven Souza Jr. You know, there's been a lot of, you know, the hubbub. I'm sure that everybody's heard about it. Aaron Hicks and the throw that he made here on this homestand from left field, 105.5 miles an hour. I think Steven Souza wanted to take a run at that, right? But that, no reason for that.
I'm feeling a little frisky here on his birthday. Well, we had some exposure to Hicks when he was with Minnesota. They really liked the way he could play the outfield and that arm. Well, it's the top of the order. Jacoby Ellsbury. Strike one. Ellsbury missing that breaking ball to start this at bat. One and one. Toronto trying to get to the 500 mark. The Blue Jays hold a 6-1 lead at home over Oakland in the middle of the 5th inning. Here the Rays have a 7-1 lead on the Yankees in the bottom of the 5th. There's a strike. 1-2 the count. Baltimore and Kansas City in the bottom of the 2nd, and the Orioles off to an 11-5 start. Have a 1-0 lead on Kansas City. The Royals going in 11-6. Boston plays in Houston tonight. A 2-2 count. Full count. Full count on Ellsbury. Ground ball first. Down to second one. That's the only one they're going to get. Headley goes to third. Castro forced at second on the throw to Miller.
It's going to be tough to double up Ellsbury, but at least you take that lead runner away. Logan Morrison with a good angle there to Miller.
Two outs. In at first and third. Now Brett Gardner. Gardner hit by a pitch to begin the bottom of the 4th. Came around to score on the 2-out double by Alex Rodriguez. Keeping an eye on Ellsbury. Want to know the count on Gardner. Smiley in his first outing against the Blue Jays. In that second outing, supposed to be in Baltimore, and that was the postponement when he had warmed up and gone into the dugout ready, and the rains came even harder. Last two outings against Cleveland and Boston. Ground ball right side. That's Pierce, and a nice pickup and toss to Miller. So Gardner grounds into the force play. We're headed into the 6th inning. It's 7-1 Rays. Rays jumped out in front with a very big first inning. Corey Dickerson's home run, a 2-run shot with 2 outs, and Longoria aboard started the fireworks. After Brad Miller doubled home a run, Steven Souza Jr. belted one into the seats and left. Steve Pearce opened the third with his first home run of the year. And then Steven Souza Jr. got into the act again, an opposite field home run in the 5th, powering the Rays to a 7-1 lead over New York through the first 5. 4 home runs by the Rays today, 10 hits. And that's it for Michael Pineda. Kirby Yates on the hill, the former Ray, and he's on to face Curt Casale. Casale 0 for 2, and the pitch is a strike. Two. So Pineda out of the game. 5 innings, 103 pitches, 7 earned runs on 10 hits. He struck out 9 and walked 1, gave up 4 home runs.
And none of them cheap. None of them cheap. Well, you talk about the Rays offense being boom or bust. That was Michael Pineda today. I mean, it was either right down the middle or he was picking up a strikeout.
Yeah, 9 strikeouts, 5 innings, but 7 runs, 4 home runs. It's out of play, holds the count at 1-2.
Look at everybody chipping in. Most everybody.
The most runs Pineda had given up prior, 8 runs last year in a game against the Phillies. Casale out on strikes, first out in the 6th, and the Rays got him for 7 today. But this is the most home runs he's given up in a single game. On 2 occasions he had given up as many as 3 home runs in a game, but 4 today. And so that's a new high in that low department for Pineda. Here's Logan Foresight. Strike 1. Logan 2 for 3. A couple of base hits and a stolen base. And 1. Yates worked 3 days ago in the Oakland series for the Yankees. Worked 1 inning.
Well, one thing's for sure, the Rays should have a pretty good scouting report on Kirby Yates. Know all about what he brings. We saw him for stretches where he could be very good. You know, he's got a different arm angle, kind of almost throws the ball uphill at times, can get that velocity into the 93, 94 range, and work the slider off of that.
He is 2-2 with Logan Morrison. Well, he had 4 different stints with the Rays last year. One out, Forsythe at the plate. Popped up, short right. Beltran's there already. 2 gone. And the Rays designated Yates for assignment last November, and the Indians picked him up. And then in January, same situation where they were looking for roster room, designated him for assignment, and the Yankees picked him up in early January. So Pineda for 5, and now Yates, who retired the first 2 he has faced. And he misses with a pitch down. 29-year-old right-hander. As we mentioned, originally out of the Rays system. They bid him aloha, the native Hawaiian.
Do you think he goes home for the All-Star break?
I think anytime he gets a chance to go home, he does. This one skips to the backstop. 2-1. Might take him a little while to get there, but the destination tends to pay off.
We had our players union meetings out there one year. I was the player rep with the Diamondbacks.
Of course you were.
And we easy on that.
Yeah, pick me.
You're right.
I'll be the player rep.
I was the only guy on the team there for a while. But yeah, but I mean, you talk about flying a long way to get all the way there to sit in meetings all day. Didn't see the sun.
Hey, there's an infield hit. So Logan Morrison has an infield hit. They had a shift on for him, and so he'll take that, hustling down the line.
Boy, you're fighting for everything that you can get. He just kind of slaps that ball down, head down, pays off.
Yeah, something wrong about going to Hawaii and spending your entire day in a room.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the
Meetings.
important years, you know, talking about, you know, the 94, everybody went on strike, and, you know, years after that, obviously, but, you know, they were important. It was an important time. So you're right. In the morning, you'd be in the meeting, they'd wheel in breakfast, wheel in lunch, wheel in dinner, and by the time you were done that night and went back to your room, it was dark out. I mean, so I literally capped an extra day on that trip just so I could, I don't know, see some sun in Hawaii. We could have had those meetings anywhere. Bismarck. Could have had them in Bismarck. It's the same thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with Bismarck, but
Depends on the time of year.
well, that's right. That's right. This was during the winter, so.
Yep. 1-1 to count to Evan Longoria. Runner at first, 2 gone in the 6th. Rays facing Kirby Yates. A ball, 2 strikes. Rays trying to finish off this road trip and break even. 6-game trip. Two. Rays dropping yesterday's game 3-2. Great start by the young lefty Blake Snell. That bodes well for the future. Matt Moore pitched into the 7th inning here Friday and took his first loss. And there's strike 3 called on Longoria. Bottom of inning 6 coming up. 7-1 Tampa Bay. The Geico great moment. Back to 2012, David Price tossing his second career shutout, striking out 6 as the Rays blanked the Angels at the Trop 5-0. And a big hug for a good day's work. Carlos Beltran celebrating his 39th birthday. 1 strike to count. 1-1. Beltran singled in the first, struck out on the slow breaking ball in the fourth. A tap toward the mound. Smiley with a flip to first. 1 away.
Well, thus far, Drew Smyly has done a wonderful job of massaging this lead, allowing the Rays to grow it as the game has moved on, giving the Yankees just the 1 run so far. Just really hasn't changed anything. I mean, still just pitching away.
Yeah, Mark Teixeira takes a strike. Yeah, to this point, we talked about Smyly early getting that big lead and then separating himself from what the offense has done. Oh, almost a nice grab by Pierce, trying to time that leap and almost pulled it off on the base hit. Soft liner up the middle by Teixeira.
Yeah, that was great effort there. A ball that got in on Teixeira. There wasn't a lot on it. That's a great shot of it.
That's the other thing you get from Pierce is great effort. It's important to have on a club.
He's one less guy that you have to worry about. I mean, you know, when you pencil his name into the lineup, you call on him to pinch hit, anything that, you know, he's going to be prepared to give you that great effort.
Yeah, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez is due up, and Joe Girardi popped out of the dugout. They're going to pinch hit for him. So our pinch hitter in this game will be Dustin Ackley, who is hitting for Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez doubled in the run for New York back in the 4th inning. And now he leaves, and Ackley hits in his place.
Well, that'll be interesting to see how that turns out, because you certainly obviously don't want Dustin Ackley in there facing Drew Smyly, especially after the bullet that Alex Rodriguez hit his last time up.
Strike the count. Oh, 2. Line drive, base hit into right. Ackley, at an 0-2 count, singles into right, sending Teixeira up to second. Well, he's crossing up everything.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, down in the count, and a very nice job. This ball up in the zone. That's exactly where Kurt Casale and Drew Smyly wanted it, and he gets on top of it, shoots a laser out into right field.
Now Brian McCann. He comes out swinging and fouls it away. Strike 1. The Yankees picking up back-to-back hits. Five hits in the game and a walk allowed by Smyly. Foul ball up the right side. 0-2. Big cut. Fouled it back. Well, this game at the moment taking on to at least some degree the appearance of a Seattle Mariners inter-squad game. Logan Morrison defending at first. Brad Miller's at short. Dustin Ackley is the runner at first base.
If we just had Nick Franklin at second base.
Yeah, and Pineda started.
There you go.
A lot of former Mariners sprinkled around the continental United States.
The American League East.
Popped up foul. That's going to carry back. Beltran out pitcher first, then a hit by Teixeira. Ackley hitting in the place of Rodriguez single on an 0-2 pitch. And a cut and a miss. That takes care of McCann. He's out on strikes for the third time today.
Well, he got Ryan McCann into swing mode and then takes advantage right there. You know, that's one of the pitches. You know, Drew Smyly, the fastball up and down in the zone, good changeup, good curveball, and then he's got that cutter. But he will angle it to use it as a slider at times. Where, you know, so I mean, the pitch really has a dual role, and he can add and subtract with it, get a little bit more depth to it, and use it as a slider, and other times it looks like a true cutter. So you talk about a pitcher with weapons and a good idea of how to use them.
Chase Headley with a count of 1 strike. 1-1. Pitch count moving into the mid-80s for Drew Smyly.
Efficiency.
Popped up foul. That will carry into the stands and move the count to 1-2. Fly ball, center field. Kiermaier is there just at the track to make the catch. No runs, a couple hits, 2 left, and we go to the 7th. 7-1 Tampa Bay. On Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory Ram. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. Overhead look at the new Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Just adjacent to the site of the old Yankee Stadium. And a beautiful day. Temperature has been around 60 degrees or so. Clear skies. So the fans enjoying the sunshine here on a comfortably cool day. Rays jumping out in front with a 5-run first. Carry a 7-1 lead in the 7th. Corey Dickerson, who homered in that first inning, takes a big cut to open the 7th, strike one.
Right down to that knee again. Now, he does not get cheated. He's got an idea of what, he's a dead red fastball hitter early in the count, but you give him a fastball anywhere near the dish and he's going to come unglued.
Oh, 2.
If I'm Kirby Yates, I'm staying right there. I mean, that's a tough pitch to get to, and it's a tough pitch to lay off of, especially when you're looking heater. That's a little extreme, but you get the idea.
A ball, 2 strikes. Yates in relief of Pineda. Rays got 7 runs, 10 hits off him. No runs and a hit in the 6th off Yates. See, he stayed way up there. And that one coming in and fouled just below us, and a scramble for the souvenir. You see where Yates piles up the location of those pitches. This is way in. Steve Pearce will be next, and then Brad Miller. Any deeper, Steven Souza Jr., who's hit 2 home runs today, would get a chance. And a big league pop-up foul. McCann after it, but it's on the other side of the screen into the stands. So they keep trying to get him up, and he fouls one after another away.
And that's where you'll see teams try to go after Corey Dickerson there. At times, though, I mean, that's a tough pitch to execute. Close to him and right at the top of the strike zone, try to get it over the swing. And look at the cluster. I mean, you pointed that out. They just continue to try to hammer that same area. No secrets what they're trying to do.
And he pops him up left side. It's Headley making the catch. And the first out in the 7th inning. There's Steve Pearce. He's 2 for 3. Single and a home run. And with that, a couple of runs scored. Breaking ball wide. 1-0. Yates in relief of Pineda.
Dwayne, I know that you'll be happy to know this, but when we go back home to play the Orioles, we get to see Chris Tillman again.
Oh, Pierce hit by that pitch. A 2-0 pitch. Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't pitch at least 2 games in every series. We see him a lot.
It's really remarkable. He does not miss the Rays. This pitch did not miss Steve Pierce. That's that arm angle. That hurts too, man. Right in the rib cage. Take your breath away.
Brad Miller. Strike one. Yeah, how about Steve Pierce? You're having a great day. You single, score a run your first time up, then you hit a home run. Then the next time up, you break your gamer that you just hit a home run with when you ground out. Next time up, you're hit in the rib cage. The day started so great.
Yeah, I mean. Well, that is true. And that gamer, I mean, the barrel end of that bat ended way up in the stands. Fortunate no one was hurt. Now, getting hit is one thing. Getting hit where he did, altogether different.
Ball, 2 strikes. Ball game in the 7th. Steven Souza Jr. is on deck with a 2 home run day. Most home runs the Rays have ever had any hitter hit in one game is 3. It's a pop foul. It'll be out of play. So we'll see what Steven Souza Jr. can do with another chance either in this inning or in the 8th, depending on how things go here. 1 on, 1 out. A ball, 2 strikes. It's wide. 2-2. Evan Longoria has had a couple 3 home run games. One against Baltimore and one against the Twins. Johnny Gomes had that 3 home run game against Kansas City back in '05. And Melvin Upton Jr., then B.J. Upton, hit 3 home runs against Texas. Still 2-2 on Brad Miller.
The statue. Like a statue. Everything quiet, posed perfectly.
And he is out on strikes. It's a dozen strikeouts by New York pitching on a day in which the Rays have 7 runs and 11 hits. Steven Souza Jr., first major league player with a multi-home run game on his birthday since Trevor Plouffe of the Twins did it on June the 15th of 2012. And here is Steven Souza Jr., 2 for 3. Home run in the first, a home run in the 5th. Takes a strike. We're now in the 7th. Close. 1-1.
And when a guy is as red hot as Souza Jr. is here today, want to try to make him uncomfortable. And you see he was getting ready to dive out over the plate. That ball stands him up just a little bit. He's able to create such tremendous leverage with his swing. That's why that ball jumps off his bat. It's not like he's a big, bulky guy.
Ooh,
yeah.
Big cut there, thinking about a third one.
Yeah, but a fast bat, quick swing, and leverage. That's what allows him to generate the power that he does.
Upstairs, 2-2. Got ahead in the first inning and hit one out to left. In the fifth, kept this one fair as it sliced toward the foul pole and right. A 2-2 count in the seventh. And he's out on strikes. So the Rays get a base runner and leave him on. 7-1 Tampa Bay. Rays have built a 7-1 lead. Moving into the bottom of the seventh. Jumped out to a 5-0 lead when they sent 9 men to the plate in the first. Steven Souza Jr. leading the way with a couple of home runs. Corey Dickerson opened the scoring with a 2-run homer, and Steve Pearce hit a solo shot in the third, and Drew Smiley through 6 innings has given up just the 1 run on 5 hits.
Well, Drew Smiley just he's stuck with the game plan. Nothing special, just continue to move well, I shouldn't say nothing special. He's very special. It's just amazing how consistent he is, moving the ball around, creating deception, changing speeds, changing eye levels. That awkward swing there by Brian McCann, we've seen that a number of times today from Yankee hitters, and he has just continued to quietly work his way through this game, held the Yankees to just 1 run, and maintained the lead for the Rays, and done it quite efficiently. 85 pitches here into the 7th.
Starlin Castro, the number 8 hitter, the second baseman, about to lead it off. There's a first pitch strike. Castro singled in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. Didi Gregorius will be next, and then the top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury. Meanwhile, Smiley jumps in front of Castro, 0-2. Ground ball, base hit off the 0-2 pitch. He followed the breaking ball down and singled through the hole.
Yeah, that was not a bad 0-2 pitch. You're trying to put him away, but you're putting him away with a quality offering. It's down below the zone, and Castro is just able to get around that pitch and find an open hole.
Take a look at that pitch.
The break, yeah, that's a ball. That's the outer third down below the zone. You understand Drew Smiley being upset.
He's going, what's he doing hitting that one? It's Gregorius fouling away that pitch. Gregorius with a pop to third and a fly ball to right. Ground ball over the mound, picked up there by Miller, and he throws to first to get the double play. Nicely done.
That was nifty. That was nifty, smooth, and athletic there by Brad Miller. Got to field the ball first, find your way to the bag, and then flip the throw over to first base. Made it look easy. That's pretty.
It looks a lot easier than it can be.
Oh, when someone makes that look that easy,
I know.
Go try that. Pull stuff.
Yeah. 1 strike pitch. Ellsbury lifts it into left. Dickerson is there to catch it. We're headed into the 8th with the Rays leading 7-1. Rich here at Yankee Stadium. We move into the 8th in this 7-1 contest, and the Yankees will bring on another pitcher. Pineda started, worked 5, gave up all 7 runs. Yates, the former Ray, 2 innings. And Nick Goody, who was just summoned from the minor leagues a couple of days ago, recalled from AAA Scranton, will come on to face the Rays in the 8th.
Well, we'll see if he is.
Nick or Goody. There's Kevin Kiermaier. Pitch is upstairs. The ball, no strikes. Kiermaier doubled his first time up. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. Kiermaier extending his hitting streak to 6. He's performed well here at Yankee Stadium. 16 career games now. This is 16th, hitting .333. 2-1. Three and one. They move Gregorius right up the middle now with this count 3-1. He had been on the shortstop side of the bag. And a big cut there. Kiermaier trying to see if he could give the Rays a little something extra with that swing.
Well, you know, he'll pick his spots. 3-1 count, why not? That's a hitter's count. Look to launch. You expect that.
And he is out on strikes. So 1 gone in the 8th. Let's check in with Todd again. Todd.
Dwayne, normally on these promotional giveaways, I kind of tout the giveaway item, and this one is Chris Archer K counter, courtesy of Bright House Networks. But I have a little guest right up here, Stu Sternberg, Rays owner. What do you think about this?
He's excellent. It's got the little counter, and we give this away. It's going to turn his fortune around.
This particular giveaway item will turn his fortune around.
It goes without saying. If everybody's there, shows up, holds up their arch bobbleheads, only victory that night.
We appreciate the time you're enjoying today.
How could you not? All the new guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
There you go, guys. The Chris Archer K counter, and Stu Sternberg endorses it. Saturday will be the giveaway item. Go to RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Archer really likes all the detail with his bobblehead too, guys. Back to you.
And Chris is going to open the homestand tomorrow against the Baltimore Orioles. Kurt Casale with a 2-0 count. And the Rays, much to the delight of Stu Sternberg, hold this 7-1 lead.
You know, when the boss comes to the day game and he's sitting up in the stands, front row, you better perform. It's kind of an edict. Hey, guess who's coming today?
Yep.
Let's get it done.
Yep, pretty good analysis. The new guys are doing what they're supposed to do.
I love that. Usually pretty right to the point.
2-1 the count on Kurt. Ooh, up the middle, hit hard. Ellsbury back and makes the catch on that hard hit line drive.
Yeah, that ball was smoked. We've heard that sound an awful lot today. That one did not drop in for the Rays, but more often than not they have.
Top of the order, Logan Foresight. Forsythe 2 for 4. Facing the rookie right-hander Goody out of LSU. Strike the count. Moody born in Orlando. Fly ball hit deep to right. Beltran will watch this one get out, and Foresight has homered. Logan Forsythe belting his 3rd home run.
We've seen Logan with power to right field. It goes back to the quick hands, and when you watch this replay, watch him fire the hands. Let that pitch get deep and then shoot the hands and still show the bat speed to get it out of here. And look how quickly he gets from A to B.
3rd hit of the day for Forsythe gives him 3 for 5. 2 singles and a home run. 3 home runs on the year now. And the Rays have an 8-1 lead, hitting 5 home runs in this game. One to count. 2 outs. Base is empty. One and 2. So a 5 home run day for the Rays offense. That's strike 3. Rays had a run on one swing of the bat from Logan Forsythe. Logan belting an 0-1 pitch to the opposite field for a home run, and that expands the lead. 8-1 Tampa Bay.
Efficient, effective outing for the Rays. He was staked to a 5-run lead in the first inning, and then he went to work on this Yankee lineup, moving the ball around, doing what he does. 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk, and 7 innings of work on just 93 pitches. A quick day's work there for Drew Smyly. Well done once again. And he will now give way to right-hander Steve Geltz here in the bottom of the 8th.
Geltz enters this 8-1 game. The Rays have 8 runs, 12 hits. The Yankees are run 6 hits. And Brett Gardner, who has scored the run for New York after he was hit by a pitch in the 4th, will open the bottom of the 8th. So a 5 home run day for the Rays offense. Geltz delivers a pitch upstairs to Gardner. It's a strike, 1-1. So 7 innings for Drew Smyly. The run, 6 hits. He hit a man, walked 1, struck out 6. Two and 1. 93 pitches for Smyly today. 64 strikes. Now Steve Geltz against Brett Gardner. There's a strike, 2-2. The most home runs the Rays have hit in a game is 6. And one of the times they did that was here at Yankee Stadium. Ball 3 in May of 2009. Pitch pretty good right there.
We talked a little bit about this yesterday. When the catcher catches that ball outside of his body, a lot of times the call won't be made, even though it is a strike.
And Geltz comes back and strikes out Gardner swinging with the fastball.
You'd like to get him swinging anyway.
Hey, here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show, presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Orestes will break down Manny Machado. And boy, I'll tell you, he's tough against the Rays. And we'll hear from Chris Archer, who will be opening that series against Baltimore tomorrow night. Carlos Beltran, 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Two and 0. In May of 09, the Rays hit those 6 home runs, 4 off Andy Pettit, 2 off Mariano Rivera. Two balls and a strike the count. They hit 6 at Kansas City, and they accomplished that twice. You have to go back to 2006 and 2002 for those 6 home run performances. 2-2 the count to Beltran, and they've hit 5 today. Playing in the bottom of the 8th. They'll have Longoria, Dickerson, and Pierce due up in the 9th. Way high and another full count. High fly ball into left. It's caught by Dickerson. 2 outs in the 8th. Geltz last worked Wednesday in the Boston series. Pitched a perfect 8th inning in that one. And here's Mark Teixeira. He is 1 for 3. First pitch is a strike. Dustin Ackley's on deck. He pinch hit for Alex Rodriguez in the 6th. And the Yankees have just announced that Rodriguez left the game with oblique stiffness in his left side. 2 strikes, and he'll have an MRI on his way to do that now. Rodriguez doubled in a run back in the 4th inning. Hit a ball off the top of the left field wall for a double, and then did not come out to hit his next at bat. 1-2 the count on Teixeira.
Yeah, and always a concern too when you get sent out for the MRI.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
One thing to come out of a game with a little stiffness, no big deal, a day or 2 of rest, but you order up the MRI and then, well, see what you find.
And we have a third 3-2 count. Full up on Mark Teixeira. So far, so good for Geltz. A strikeout and a fly ball to left. And the 3-2. Teixeira shoots it into right. Souza Jr. is right there to make the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 9th. 8-1 Tampa Bay. Sun is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts Glory Ram. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Eight to 1 Rays lead in the Bronx as we go to the 9th inning. The new catcher, Austin Romine, in the game. Taking over for McCann in the 9th. And a new right fielder, Ronald Torreyes, comes in to play right in the place of Beltran. Here's Longoria going after the first pitch and skying it foul, out of play. Rays connected off Goody. Logan Forsythe hit the home run to right field in the 8th for their 5th home run of the day. Some pretty good power coming up now. Longoria behind in the count out in front of that pitch. Brian McCann has moved in to play first from behind the plate. And there he is. A ball, 2 strikes. Longoria tracks that one for ball 2. Oakland hitting in the top of the 9th at Toronto, with the Blue Jays leading 6-3. Storin in there for Toronto. Big cut and a miss. Longoria out on strikes. We now go to Corey Dickerson. We wrap up this series. How about these salaries over the next year or two coming off the books here in New York? There's some age and some big numbers there. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $83 million.
Well, that's what, we were talking a little bit about that earlier in the game. That's what you wonder about with this team. With the age, Alex Rodriguez already, with the oblique stiffness, and he's headed out to get an MRI. Is CC Sabathia going to hold up all season? Tanaka was outstanding yesterday, but you're always thinking about his elbow when he goes out to pitch, and you just go right down through. I mean, it's going to be just an interesting summer, an interesting race in the American League East.
1-0 the count to Corey Dickerson. Way high. 2-0. Well, Longoria striking out to open the 9th inning. That's 16 strikeouts for Yankee pitching today. So it goes back to that conversation we were having earlier. 16 strikeouts and 5 home runs.
What do you guys think they are, the Astros? I mean, that's
been their game plan.
Yeah. Well, they got that fever early today.
Cut and a miss. Takes the count to 2-2 on Corey Dickerson. Goody, 24 years old. He'll be 25 in July. And it's a 3-2 count on Dickerson. There's ball 4. The Rays get a base runner. Well, if you were looking for a lot of walks in this Rays lineup, you wouldn't find many. That's only the 3rd today. They also had a hit batter.
You can't take a walk when you're busy swinging. And that's what this lineup does.
Steve Pearce. Pitch is low, a ball and no strikes. Strike to Pearce. 1-1. Big cut and a miss by Pearce. 1-2. One on, one out. Pearce behind in the count. A ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball. Gregorius out at second, and no throw by Castro in the middle. So a fielder's choice. Dickerson forced at second. 2 outs in the ninth, and Brad Miller gets a chance to swing the bat again. Steven Souza Jr. would be due up next.
And if you go, well, we'll just put it this way: home run, strikeout, home run, strikeout.
So you're picking up a pattern.
He's due.
Well, let's see if Miller can keep it going. Fouls it back, strike one. So the Rays today have 12 hits, and they've had 3 other base runners, 1 hit by a pitch, and 2 walks. So technically 2 walks and a hit batter is what they've had. And they've struck out 16 times at the hands of 3 New York pitchers. That's a low liner, and it's grabbed over there by McCann, who steps on the bag. And the Rays are out in the ninth, leading 8-1. Jr. celebrating his birthday today. Lit a couple candles, 1 in the first and 1 in the fifth. A 2-home run day for Souza Jr. to give him 5 on the year.
Yeah, that blast to left field was absolutely gorgeous. And then how about going right down the right field line and slicing it right around the fair pole? What a day.
Rays have hit 5. Dickerson has hit 1. Pierce hit 1, and so did Foresight. And now Jan Marinez, who has just joined the team from Durham, where he was 2-1 with a .225 in 6 games. He's in to pitch the bottom of the ninth, facing Dustin Ackley, and the pitch is a ball. So Geltz pitched to 1-2-3 eighth. Two and 0. Two and 1. Rays option Blake Snell back to Durham after his major league debut yesterday, and he pitched so impressively. And Marinez comes out now to give the Rays another arm in the bullpen. There's a popper in the left field, and who's going to get it? Miller out from shortstop in front of Dickerson, makes the catch.
A little bit more difficult play there for Brad Miller. He got back there quickly enough, called off. You know, it's a tough angle for Longoria. Miller's going to call him off. as Dickerson's coming in. You'd love to see Dickerson make this catch, but Brad Miller took charge. You could see Dickerson pull up because Miller obviously emphatically calling for that.
Brian McCann now playing first base. The pitch is a strike. Mourinho's has some big league time. 6 big league appearances, a couple with the White Sox and 4 with the Marlins. Two strikes the count on McCann. And he strikes out McCann.
How does this arm only have a couple of major league appearances? He's come in 95, 96. We've seen the slider 85. This one 88. That's dirty. Well, you talk about the stuff in the game. And here they just roll a guy out, bring him up, call him up today. Just comes out pumping mid-90 fastballs.
Headley takes it down and in. So 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th in an 8-1 ball game. Rays with the idea of taking this one and dividing the 6-game road trip down the middle 3-3, and on the verge of doing that. Ground ball short right. Pierce is there, and the throw to first. This one is over, and the Rays win this one. It's an 8-1 final. 3 up, 3 down go the New York Yankees in the 9th. And for the Rays, they do go 3-3 on this road trip. Return home.